From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Thursday, November 5th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
We'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop.
Every vote must be counted. No one's going to take our democracy away from us. Not now, not ever.
Votes continue to be counted in key battleground states as we wait to learn who will be the next president of the United States. The latest on the race for the White House.
It's scary. You're definitely always on your phone checking results, want to stay informed, but also you kind of almost want to hijack it.
As the wait for a winner continues, big questions remain for voters. This morning, we check in with some everyday people to see how they are feeling as this historic election cycle drags on.
We've taken, a very kind of localized, personalized, surgical approach.
Governor Holcomb addressing the rise in coronavirus cases and hospitalizations in the Hoosier State, working for you why he says Indiana will stay in stage 5 despite the surge.
Welcome to Good Morning Indiana. It's going to be a great day here in Central Indiana. Our good friend Todd, Nicole Griffin joining us this morning. Lauren Casey is off. Nicole, it is always great to have you with us here with the GMI family. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Raphael. It's always good to be here, waking up early with the team and meteorologist Todd Klassen. Your job is pretty easy today. You have some good news for us.
Yeah, it's been pretty easy all week long, and that's not a bad thing because that means you're usually dealing with great weather, and that's exactly what we've had this entire week with lots of sunshine. Some minor tweaks and changes to the forecast here today, but a beautiful view of downtown Indianapolis all lit up here as we go into this Thursday morning, and the skies will start to brighten here in just about 30 minutes or so, with sunrise officially a little after 7 o'clock here this morning. Look at these temperatures, 58 in Lafayette, 58 in Muncie. Our normal high temperature this time of year is 58 degrees, so we're already at that here in some northern locations. Just a little cooler in the city at 52 degrees, and the difference in the temperatures is where it's a little cooler, the skies are still a little clearer, but you do notice the clouds increasing, and that's the change in the forecast, at least compared to the past few days where we hardly had any clouds, but they go through uneventful. We're not expecting any precipitation with them. It's just going to be mostly cloudy for a period here mid-morning through the early afternoon, but temperatures with a south wind are still very mild, climbing all the way up into the low to mid-60s. Nicole.
All right, Todd, thank you. This is a live look outside this morning at traffic at I-69 to I-465 there on the northeast side this morning, where you can see everything's moving up to speed right now. No crashes or delays as you head out the door. This morning, we are still waiting to learn who will be the next president of the United States.
That remains the big unknown on this Thursday morning. And Nicole, according to ABC News, right now, President Donald Trump has 214 electoral votes, while Joe Biden has 253. But the ballots are still being counted across the country, especially in key battleground states. Analysts say it is still too close to call in 6 states, including Alaska, Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. But both candidates remain hopeful that they will emerge victorious.
My friends, I'm confident we'll emerge victorious. But this will not be my victory alone or our victory alone. It'll be a victory for the American people, for our democracy, for America. And there will be no blue states and red states when we win, just the United States of America.
We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election. So our goal now is to ensure the integrity for the good of this nation. This is a very big moment. This is a major fraud in our nation.
Well, as you heard, President Trump is frustrated that vote counting is still continuing, which he says only serves to disenfranchise his supporters. And this morning, his campaign is laying the groundwork to contest a possible Joe Biden win. Lawsuits have been filed against Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Georgia, 3 key battleground states in the election. The suits are calling for better access for campaign observers at locations where ballots are being counted. They also raise absentee ballot concerns. The new filing
filings join existing Republican legal challenges in Pennsylvania and Nevada.
Meanwhile, former Vice President Joe Biden has broken the record for the most number of votes cast for any presidential candidate in our country's history. The record was previously held by his former running mate, Barack Obama. According to the Associated Press, Mr. Biden surpassed 70,330,000 votes as of 2:38 Wednesday afternoon. At this hour, more than 72 million votes, with ballots being counted, are in for Mr. Biden. To put that in perspective, in 2008, President Obama set the record with 69.5 million votes. The turnout statistics for this year's election just underscores how much more engaged voters are compared to the year 2016. And this morning, Nicole, we still don't know who the president will be in 2021, which has many people feeling a bit anxious.
WRTV's Kelsey Anderson joins us live now this morning with reaction from folks down on Mass Ave last night. Kelsey, what are they saying?
Hey, good morning, Nicole. So people really just don't know how to feel right now. There's a lot going on right now as far as this election goes, a lot of firsts happening. So obviously we don't know who the president of the United States is going to be next year. And then we also know that more Americans turned out to vote than ever before. And then as Raphael just mentioned, Joe Biden getting more votes than any presidential candidate has ever received in United States history. So we went down to Mass Ave last night to see how voters are feeling right now as they wait to learn who the next president is.
It's nice to know things, but it's nice to get the count right and do the answer right. So I'd rather get the count right and get the answer right. You know, it's kind of like halftime at a football game. If you're like the Colts, you probably think, I'd like to see them win, but you got to finish the rest of the game and all that. And usually in the post game, you find out. I figure we're close to the post game.
So still waiting for that post-game announcement on who our next president will be. Of course, that's going to take some patience on all of us to just stand by and wait and let democracy unfold. Of course, we will update you as soon as we know more information. You can get a head start on that by downloading the WRTV News app, and we'll send a push alert to you as soon as we know more information. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you so much. We are all waiting. We are all watching. The ballot counting will continue at the Marion County Election Services Center today. The Marion County Clerk's Office says officials will likely finish processing absentee ballots sometime this Thursday. They counted late into Tuesday and, of course, all day yesterday. And though the process is a long one, volunteers and workers we spoke with say it's time well spent.
When I heard that there was so many outstanding ballots that still haven't been counted, I really was like, oh, we need to get this through and sooner than later. And so I just wanted to make sure that these, votes were being counted and, just kind of making sure people are more reassured about that.
It's my civic duty. I think, and I've said this before, I think that every adult should do this at least once in their lives, to touch the ballots that somebody else has put together. It makes you feel a sense of pride.
We thank you for your service and all of those who worked during this election cycle. More than 200,000 Marion County voters alone cast their ballots by mail.
It's 6:09 now to the latest on the spread of COVID-19 in the Hoosier State. At yesterday's weekly briefing, officials provided some perspective on the state of the pandemic here in Indiana. State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Bach says our 7-day positivity rate is 8.7%. Dr. Bach also said between September 15th and October 25th, we saw a more than 200% increase in the number of cases. Hospital admissions have also increased significantly and are at their highest level since the pandemic began, something that is putting a strain on not only the hospitals but the staff as well.
Perhaps the greatest strain right now is on our hospital workforce, which is in the 9th month now of responding to this pandemic and facing the greatest patient load yet. They are frankly exhausted. They're quarantined or in a family quarantine. They're juggling home issues just like the rest of us, like hybrid schooling. And some have even lost coworkers and family members to this disease.
Dr. Bach says they are having regular meetings with hospital systems to see how the state can best help alleviate some of this added stress. Part of that effort includes recruiting retired nurses, doctors, and other reserve healthcare workers to help at hospitals and long-term care facilities around the state.
Nicole, as you mentioned, the numbers are simply going up. So let's take a closer look at those numbers on this Thursday morning. Indiana once again seeing a record number of new COVID-19 cases. Let's put this all in perspective. Wednesday, 3,756 new cases of the virus were reported in our state. That brings the number of Hoosiers infected with the virus to 191,764. State health officials also reported 25 new deaths. So far, 4,224 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. Now, despite the surge in cases, Governor Holcomb shut down any rumors that the state would be enforcing any new restrictions.
We're not in the same place as we were in the spring, and that has all to do with our capacity to care. Not just surge capacity, but our capacity to care. So that's what we look at, and that's what you're working with local communities each and every day.
Unfortunately, the Midwest, all of our neighboring states are having similar significant increases. In fact, the Midwest, I think everyone is over 60% increase in their positivity rate over the last 2 weeks. And a couple of the states that are even more shut down.
So a reminder, Marion County, the capital city, is not in stage 5. Tighter restrictions are still in place, like capacity limits and early closing times at some businesses. Nicole?
With the election mostly behind us, division among Americans remains after the break. How experts say we can heal the divide as we begin to move forward. Todd.
And this week we've enjoyed beautiful weather with lots of sunshine and, more importantly, above normal temperatures across the area as we've been in the 60s and 70s, and nothing's going to change as we head into the latter half of the week and the weekend. In fact, even into next week, we're well above the average high of 58, as you see there. We'll break down your forecast for you coming up. Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
New overnight, one person is dead after a crash involving a motorcycle and 2 other vehicles here in Indianapolis. This happened around 11:30 last night at the intersection of 46th Street and Binford Boulevard. Officers on the scene say the motorcyclist has died. Additional information on the victim has not been released at this time. Police are still investigating what caused that crash.
Also new this morning, Seymour police have identified a man shot and killed by officers responding to a reported robbery. Police say 43-year-old Jason S. Klein of Beech Grove was found near a Speedway gas station Sunday night. He allegedly had a shopping cart full of stolen items from Walmart. When officers caught up to Klein and attempted to take him into custody, they say he began to resist and pointed a gun at officers. That's when they fired their guns, striking and killing him. Police say the handgun in Klein's possession was found to be loaded and had been reported as stolen. The investigation is ongoing at this time.
So as we all wait to see what happens with this presidential race, one of the biggest questions being asked is, how do we move forward in this uncertain time? Psychology experts say what we need the most is to connect with people who are having similar reactions to how we're all feeling. And after that, it's time to start reaching out to people with whom you might have political disagreements. Then invite them to have a face-to-face conversation. Let them know what you hope to get out of that conversation. And here's what's key. Let them know that you care.
Which means that both of them are going to come to the table, again, trying to understand where the other person is coming from, trying to listen to them, not necessarily going into a discussion trying to change someone's mind. That's really not active listening.
She also says if both of you are willing to get past the political rift, chances are you will.
Whether you had mutual interests in sports or hobbies, or you can engage about grandchildren. There are a lot of things to connect on besides politics, and sometimes it's good to refocus on those things and leave the political issues aside if you can't make progress there.
And so experts say we may not be as divided as you might think. Our perception is that most people are on the extremes, but the truth is, according to the experts, most people are in the middle. Time now to check your forecast on this Thursday, and Todd Clausen has a feel-good forecast.
Yeah, you know, Raphael, temperatures have been running well above normal here this entire week, and the good news is it's not going to change at all. Today, once again, will be above normal. The one little change we have today compared to the past couple days is a little more in the way of cloud cover will be around throughout the day today, but the past couple days there's been hardly a cloud in the sky until late in the day. So this morning the clouds are currently in the process of increasing across the area, and that will continue to happen. And this afternoon we're mostly cloudy. It's not that solid, thick, overcast sky though. It's going to be more of some high, thin clouds. It'll filter the sunshine a little bit, and then this evening will start to clear out once again, and that'll set us up for a sun-filled Friday and eventually into the weekend as well. Temperatures this morning running with the clouds moving in anywhere from about 5 to 15 degrees above where they were at this point yesterday, and that leaves us in the 40s and 50s in most locations. 50 in Greenfield, 56 in Greencastle, 58 as you make your way up into Lafayette, and Indianapolis sitting at 52 degrees. And with these clouds moving in, we won't see that real big jump initially with the temperature like we've seen the past few mornings with all the sunshine. We'll hold pretty steady, and then it's a slow but steady climb as we work our way throughout the course of the morning and eventually into the afternoon hours. And here are those clouds that are increasing already. We started off with clear skies this morning. I saw the moon and plenty of stars on my way into work, but now the clouds are starting to win out. But what you don't see on here is any precipitation. Essentially, these clouds are going to go through without dropping any rainfall across the area. And so you can just plan your activities as scheduled here today. Just know, again, it's a little more cloudy than it was the past few days, but it's dry. And temperatures, even with the clouds, not bad. 70 in Lafayette as well as Frankfort today, 69. The high temperature in Muncie, right around 70 in Martinsville as well as Shelbyville, 69 here in Indianapolis, and then highs in southern locations. Again, generally upper 60s to right around 70 degrees. This evening, temperatures will cool off pretty quickly once those clouds move out, and that should happen by about 7, 8 o'clock. And then once we head into the late evening and overnight hours, we will be completely clear. That sets us up for a sunny day tomorrow. Your Friday's a good one, 46 degrees in the morning hours, highs right around 70 degrees, and then cooling off into the 50s. But as we look ahead to your weekend, Saturday we're in the 70s, Sunday we're in the 70s, Monday we're in the 70s as well. In fact, some areas on Sunday and Monday could be in that 75 to 80 degree range across the area. That's how warm it's going to get over the weekend. We get back to reality and more seasonable temperatures by the middle of next week. Tuesday, the front comes through with some showers, maybe a few thunderstorms, and then there's that temperature on Wednesday. While it's cooler, it's fairly seasonable with a high of 56.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a live look outside at the roads on this Thursday morning. Here's a look at I-465 at Harding Street there on the south side, where everything is still moving up to speed all across our area. No crashes or delays right now.
So Nicole, the boss, is showing the world that his glory days like that are far from over. Bruce Springsteen just released a new album. It's called Letter to You, and that album already making history. It debuted at #2 on the Billboard 200 chart. That means that Springsteen has had a top 5 album every decade for the last 6 decades. He's the first artist to reach this level of success. Letter to You is his 20th studio album. Springsteen's first charting album, of course, was Run to You back in 1975. And of course, Bruce Springsteen is from New Jersey, Nicole, but our favorite person from the Jersey state, our favorite Jersey boy is Todd Clausen. So listen, Bruce is okay. Todd, I think, is better. I'm just saying.
I agree. Todd's my favorite, too. Well, coming up here, while voters may be worried about the outcome of the election, Wall Street is surprisingly unfazed. Coming up, why you don't need to worry about a dip in the markets no matter who wins.
I just wonder if Todd can sing like Bruce Springsteen. We'll have to ask him a little bit later. Good morning to Carmel, Cumberland, and Mount Comfort, all great places to call home here in central Indiana. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Time now to look at the stories trending this morning. And Raphael, you look excited for this one.
Listen, you young kids need Google for everything. As an older person, I guess, I know where my food is, but okay, here we go. Google has released the top searches on Election Day. At the top of the list, people needed their Google sites to find out where to find the best fries and liquor. I already know that. I don't need Google for that. Americans also search for pizza and Chinese food, sushi, and Mexican food. Some say the searches, Nicole, suggest that people are using comfort food and liquor to ease their election anxiety. I'm saying know where your food. You don't need Surrey.
We had spaghetti on election night, so we were ready to go. Well, Thanksgiving is still 3 weeks away, but some people are already in the Christmas spirit. Mariah Carey's hit song, All I Want for Christmas Is You, is seeing a surge in stream requests. Billboard reports the song received more than 1 million on-demand streams on Sunday and Monday alone. That's up 160% compared to the last 2 days of October. The holiday classic was first released in 1994.
Wow, it's a really a good song.
It is a good song.
Kinda, you know, a little toe tapping. I'm sure Todd Clausen can sing that one too. But we'll get to that later. I can tell. And on this Thursday, it is time to take in the fall foliage in central Indiana. And this is a view from Sherry Coomer Collins. Now, her leaves are gone, but check out the view, right? She's enjoying the sunrises and the sunsets, making her landscape something to enjoy until the return of spring. And as you head outside this morning, Todd, you corrected me. It's not spring-like, but it feels like September, right? If you walk out there this morning.
Yeah, you know, and I only said that, Raphael, because it's easier to compare. You know, you think back to April, you're coming out of winter into spring, and so we still had some warm temperatures here the past couple days, and it's very September-like compared to November-like across the area. And we're in the 50s this morning. Anytime you can do that in November, you're in great shape, because normally we should be in the 30s to start your day. And highs today will be climbing up into the 60s. Radar is quiet. Some of you could even get to 70 degrees. Now, the one thing you will notice today is a little more in the way of cloud cover around, but we remain dry. That is the good news. Keep in mind, if you do have plans to be out and about, sunset is at 5:38. And if you're driving around, also make sure a lot of people are still out exercising, running during the evening hours. A lot of times they'll have those little headlamps on their heads. Just be careful of people crossing the streets and so forth here as we kind of get used to the time change still across the area. Nicole?
All right, Todd, thank you. With President Trump and Joe Biden in such a tight race, many people are worried about the impact on the U.S. economy. Consumer reporter John Matarese tells us why Wall Street is not taking a big dip despite the ongoing uncertainty.
The presidential race is still unresolved and might drag on in the courts for weeks. So why is the stock market going up and not plunging? To quote James Carville, elections are all about the economy, stupid. So a lot of voters have been worrying about their 401k accounts in the event of a hotly contested presidential race. With President Trump and Joe Biden in such a tight race, many people worried about a big market sell-off. But just the opposite happened the morning after. Why? CNBC says no matter the presidential winner, Congress appears to once again be split. Democrats controlling the House, Republicans controlling the Senate. That means there's little chance of major changes to health care or tax laws, since both houses have to approve it. So believe it or not, Wall Street is predicting status quo the next couple of years. Of course, presidents can issue executive orders, but the stock markets don't seem to expect dramatic changes. As always, don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Thursday, this is your 6:30 news feed. One person is dead after a crash involving a motorcycle and 2 other vehicles. This happened around 11:30 last night at 46th Street and Binford Boulevard. Officers on the scene say the motorcyclist has died. This morning, police are still investigating the cause of this crash.
Metro Police are investigating a pair of overnight shootings. Police were called to a person shot near Wayne Fire Station 84 around 12:30 this morning. The victim in this case is listed in critical condition. Then about 10 minutes later, officers were called to a person shot at 25th and Dearborn. That victim is listed in stable condition.
The state leaders addressing the surge in COVID-19 cases and deaths. Dr. Christina Box and Governor Holcomb say it is still important for you to practice social distancing. This morning, a mask mandate remains in effect in our state, meaning you must wear a mask when you're in public and around other people. However, Governor Holcomb says the state will stay in stage 5 of his reopening plan for now.
We want to thank you so much for starting your morning with us here on WRTV. For Good Morning Indiana, I'm Nicole Griffin in for Lauren Casey this morning.
Nicole, it's great to have you with us. Nicole, I had to write down that today was November the 5th because when I stepped outside, I said, really? It should be, right? I had to sort of pinch myself, Todd Clausen. I mean, help me out.
You know, it feels like November 5th should be, but for high temperatures outside right now, Raphael, it's very mild this morning. We're sitting in the 50s all across the area, and that's where we should be getting in the afternoon hours, so we can do it in the morning. You know, we're in great shape temperature-wise. Sky's starting to brighten here a little bit this morning. You see a little bit of cloud cover there. City skyline looking great as always. Temperatures right now at 52 in Indy, 58 in Lafayette, and 56 in Bloomington. 58 is the normal high temperature for this time of year. The clouds are increasing across the area, so there's definitely going to be more in the way of cloud cover today than what we've seen the past couple days. But these clouds will basically go through without much fanfare. They'll be around, they'll filter the sunshine, obviously, but the back edge is already here across parts of central Missouri, and so they'll just continue their eastward trek, and we will see skies eventually go mainly clear later on this evening. So as we kind of chart your day out for you hour by hour, temperatures will moderate from where they are in the 50s through the 60s and get close to 70 degrees later on this afternoon with the mostly cloudy skies. But once we get past 3 p.m., the clouds should start to move out. Then we'll get into some sunshine, I think, before sunset, and then clear overnight, setting us up for another great stretch of weather Friday all the way through the weekend. More on that, Nicole, coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right, Todd, looks good. Thank you so much. Well, here's a live look at traffic this morning. This is I-70 east of Mount Comfort Road, east of Indianapolis. The left lane is closed here in this area due to construction, but as you see here, no major slowdowns or crashes on the interstates this morning to slow you down.
Nicole, business owners are trying to figure out how to continue operation under COVID-19 guidelines as the temperature gets colder. As the temperatures get colder, people don't want to sit outside, as you can imagine. Now, to help, the city of Indianapolis is offering grants to help restaurants and bars and live events in venues to purchase equipment to keep outdoor spaces warm. Jason Mugg owns 9 Irish Brothers on Mass Ave, and he says the money would be a helpful start.
It's a lot of thinking into what could happen, what customers are going to want. Are they going to want to sit inside a tent with the big heaters and all that stuff? Are they going to want to be able to come out and enjoy themselves just like they would inside, but at a safer place outside?
The Ready for Winter grant will offer reimbursement for up to $2,500 for these expenses. It is available on a first-come, first-served basis to Marion County businesses until November the 20th.
It's 6:33 now to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic and its impact on our state. This morning, the Hoosier State is setting yet another record high for new cases of the virus. The State Department of Health reporting more than 3,700 new cases. More than 191,000 total cases have been reported since the pandemic began. 25 more Hoosiers have also died with the coronavirus. Since the pandemic began, more than 4,200 Hoosiers have died with the virus. The spread in nursing homes also continues to be a concern. The health department reports 856 new coronavirus cases in long-term care residents. 120 new resident deaths are also being reported. And this morning, nursing home deaths now make up 57% of the state's total COVID-19 deaths. This morning, nearly 600 new coronavirus cases are also being reported in staff members at the state's long-term care facilities.
So, Nicole, this morning, state health officials, they're asking retired healthcare workers to help out at these long-term care facilities. The National Guard, as you know, is already deployed to dozens of nursing homes throughout our state. Their goal is to help with testing, reporting, visitor registration, infection protocol, and other tasks. The Guard says things are going well so far.
Our first few days in the facilities have been very productive. The feedback that we are getting is that our soldiers and airmen are augmenting the staffs, and they're helping the staffs with adherence to CDC guidelines for wearing their PPE. They're helping at screening at the front door. They're taking temperatures and really enabling the staff to do their jobs.
The Indiana National Guard plans to have more than 400 soldiers to deploy to more than 500 nursing homes by November 16th.
The votes are still being counted, but for the most part, Election Day is behind us. We check in with voters to see how they feel about this wild election cycle. That's coming up here on Good Morning Indiana.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Ballots in a number of Indiana counties and states as well are still being counted nearly 48 hours after the election.
WRTV's Kelsey Anderson is live this morning with how folks are reacting to the uncertainty. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Raphael and Nicole. So we as Americans, I believe, are good at a lot of things, but this week we're kind of proving that patience is not one of those things that we're good at, as everyone is sitting on the edge of their seats waiting to find out who the next president of the United States is going to be. So it seems no one really knows how to feel right now because there are a lot of firsts in this election. First, it's been 2 days since Election Day and a winner has not been declared. But on the positive side, this is a record number of Americans who turned out to vote this year. We went down to Mass Ave last night to talk to folks about how they're feeling right now.
I think what's going on nationally is insane. Like I think sometimes it's a little unbelievable what's going on right now. But you know, I have a belief in the system and that we can get things turned around and headed in the right direction.
I just would love to know who it's going to be and get this over with, and I hope everybody stays safe and treats each other nicely.
So patience is the theme this week. Just sit back, take a deep breath and relax and let democracy unfold, because that's all you can do right now. The voting is over, so we are just waiting for those votes to be counted. And of course, you can get a head start on knowing those results by downloading the WRTV News app, because as soon as we know who the winner is, we'll of course send out that push notification so you can be one of the first people to know. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
All right, Kelsey, thank you. Well, we are still waiting to learn who will be the next president of the United States. At this hour, ABC News reports President Donald Trump has 214 electoral votes, while Joe Biden has 253. A candidate has to reach 270 votes in order to win the presidency. Ballots are still being counted in the 6 key battleground states you see unshaded. This morning, both candidates remain hopeful they will emerge victorious.
We've won with the majority of the American people. Indeed, Senator Harris and I are on track to win more votes than any ticket in the history of this country.
So we'll be going to the U.S. Supreme Court. We want all voting to stop.
This morning, the Trump campaign now readying court challenges in 3 states. The president's campaign also filing a formal request for a recount in Wisconsin.
Our Democracy 2020 coverage continues on this Thursday morning, and counting ballots will continue later this morning right here in Marion County. The clerk's office says that workers tallied more than 87,000 absentee ballots on Wednesday alone. Election officials will continue counting at 10 this morning. More than 200,000 total Marion County voters cast their ballots by mail this election cycle. Now, this morning, we do know who won Indiana's 5th congressional district. It will remain in Republican control. Victoria Spartz will become the next congresswoman to represent the 5th district. She won over Democrat Christina Hale in a very tight race. Spartz has served in the Indiana State Senate since 2007 and will now replace retiring Republican Congresswoman Susan Brooks.
A Central Indiana school board at the center of controversy will now have 2 new members. As we first told you Wednesday morning, Northwest Hendricks School Board President Jim DiAgostino and board member Craig Peoples are out. Voters made their voices heard, electing challengers Abby Morgan and Joe Brooks. This comes after more than a year of backlash and division over how the school district handled sexual misconduct allegations involving a teacher and a student. Both newcomers tell WRTV investigates they plan to improve communication and restore trust.
We're all still neighbors. We all still go to the same events in church, and we're going to see each other at restaurants and grocery stores and all those things, and we're all part of the solution one way or another. I know that I'm going to make sure personally to do everything that I can do to communicate and keep and maintain the trust that the community obviously has with me in regards to the way that the turnout was yesterday.
Abby Morgan released a statement saying, quote, "I would like to thank the members of the Northwest Hendricks School Corporation community for their support. I am excited about this opportunity to serve the community I love." Jim DiAgostino and Craig Peoples have not responded to WRTV's request for comment.
So let me take you west on I-70 towards Vigo County, where election officials there are still trying to count the votes in that western county here in Indiana. We're learning more about the issues causing the delays in getting the vote out. Vigo County election officials say the delays are being caused by the ballot paper. They say the ballot paper is too narrow and not all the ballots are being read by the scanner. When the ballots aren't read, individuals from each party have to recreate the ballot on paper with the correct dimensions.
Still ahead, the election has some Hoosiers worried about what the outcome of the election could do to their health care coverage. We're breaking down what you need to know. Todd.
And we've enjoyed a great stretch of weather here this first week in November, and the warmth is going to stick around. Anytime you see red on this map, we're in good shape, and you can see as the line moves into the coming days, we remain in the above normal to well above normal category. That means more 60s and even some 70s in our future. We'll break it all down for you coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast when Good Morning Indiana continues in just a few minutes.
So the future of healthcare for many of us is on our minds with the election now behind us and, of course, still with us. Shamika Hunt has cancer, and the uncertainty, of course, scares her and her family. Joe Biden claims he'd allow people to enroll in Medicare at age 60 and would also try to create a new federal health program similar to Medicare, which he calls a public option. President Trump has not announced his health care plan. But Shamika is concerned about billions of dollars getting slashed from Medicaid, food stamps, and other safety net programs.
I'm really concerned about my insurance being taken away because I am on Medicare, Medicaid, and that pays for all of my treatments. I am currently on 3 different chemo treatments.
She says her medication runs about $50,000 to $60,000 a month. On this Thursday, we are checking your forecast. Todd Clausen, I think you have a pretty good week ahead of us.
You know, it's been a terrific week, Raphael. The past 2 days, we've been above 65 degrees, and I think we'll stay above 65 degrees for our high temperature all the way through at least Monday or even Tuesday of next week, and that could set a record. It's not very often you can string a lot of 65-degree days in a row together in November. The National Weather Service put out that stat. The last time we've only done 4 times, I think, since 1977. So this is some pretty good weather. There was the sunrise taking place this morning. A little more in the way of cloud cover, making for a nice view this morning off to the east. 52 degrees is the current temperature outside right now in Indy. It's 53 in Tipton. 58 is the current temperature in Lafayette, and Bloomington is at 56 degrees. As we work our way throughout the day today, you saw the cloud cover out there, and that's different than the past few mornings when I showed you that view where there was not a cloud in the sky. And these clouds clouds will continue to increase this morning across the area. And I do think there'll be a period from about 10 a.m. Through 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon where the skies will be overcast with the sun filtering through at times. As far as temperatures go today, even with the cloud cover, we still have a southerly wind, and that's going to bring us above normal and put us in the upper 60s to low 70s all across the area. Once again, making us above normal temperature-wise for this time of year. But here's this band of cloud cover that's moving through. And the back edge is over here already in central Missouri, back into Iowa. This will continue to make its way through the area. And TrueCast, while it's trying to paint an isolated shower, it will go through dry. I'm not expecting any precipitation in the forecast today. They are simply so dry. Even if a shower or two tried to get itself going, it was not going to make it to the ground. And then the skies will start to clear out once again later on this evening across the area. So your evening forecast isn't bad. Temperatures will be in the 60s and then eventually falling into the 50s with sunset this evening at 5:38. Low temperatures tomorrow morning with the clear skies. It's a little bit cooler. We're in the 40s, but we'll go from the 40s up to right around 70 degrees for your forecast on Friday. And look at this. We get the sunshine back, a completely sunny day for you tomorrow. And then we continue that nice weather into the weekend. 72 on Saturday, Sunday at 74 degrees with mostly sunny skies. And Monday as well will be in the mid 70s with plenty of sunshine. Another great opportunity and great weekend to get out and about and do some things across the area, or maybe just have some yard work and leaf pickup to do. It'll be perfect for that. Do it before we get some rain on Tuesday. The front comes through on Tuesday with maybe even a few thunderstorms and some locally heavy downpours. And then on Wednesday, much cooler behind that cold front. Nicole, with temperatures that'll be in the mid 50s.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a live look outside at the roads this morning. I-465 at Washington Street there on the west side, where you can see everything's moving smooth. No crashes or delays at this hour. Time now to jump into the WRTV vault for this week's Throwback Thursday. Well, we've just made it through Halloween, and now it's already time to decorate for Christmas, Raphael.
I know, for decades, it just seems like the holiday season is coming sooner and sooner every single year. It's something that former WRTV reporter Marilyn Mitzel noticed nearly 40 years ago, back in October of 1980. Business owners told her they started holiday sales in October in an effort to get customers to spend money during the recession. Outside of tinsel-topped store shelves, the annual lights appeared on Monument Circle, leading Hoosiers, of course, to sound off.
It's just, you know, like everybody else says, it's just a capitalization of Christmas.
I don't care. It's cool right now, you know, get ready for the season. Everybody be ready for it. You won't be so down, depressed and everything.
I think it's too soon.
When do you think would be a good time?
Maybe 2 weeks in this month, November.
Let Thanksgiving go by first. Let Halloween go by first, for Pete's sake. I think it's ridiculous.
Organizers say the lights on Monument Circle were put up to avoid the colder weather. You can find more on this and all other throwback stories right now on our website, WRTV.com/history. We'll have a look at your top stories when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on this merry, merry Thursday in November.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Take a look at this beautiful sunrise. Todd will be back with today's forecast in just a few minutes.
That is beautiful indeed. But first, here are this morning's top stories. Let's take you now to Jackson County. Seymour police have identified a man shot and killed by officers responding to a reported robbery. Police say that 43-year-old Jason S. Klein of Beech Grove was found with a shopping cart full of stolen items from Walmart. Police say the handgun in Klein's possession was found to be loaded and had been reported stolen as well.
A Hendricks County mother is in the hospital after police say her 2-year-old accidentally shot her. It happened west of Danville Wednesday morning on West US 36. The Hendricks County Sheriff's Office said the boy found a semi-automatic pistol in the home and shot his 40-year-old mother. A 5-year-old sibling was also home and called for help. The children were not injured. Child Protective Services and the Sheriff's Office are investigating.
You can get your flu shot today while visiting the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. The museum is partnering with IU Health to offer free flu vaccines during their $5 First Thursday night. The shots are available to families and children older than 4. This begins at 4 this afternoon and runs until 8 tonight. The Ball State Cardinals opening their 2020 football season on Wednesday in Ohio against Miami University. The Mid-American Conference was one of the first to cancel fall sports due to the pandemic. Then they reversed course near the end of September. The Cardinals unfortunately losing on the road. They'll host Eastern Michigan for their first home game on Wednesday. And for all of you who are Ball State alum, chirp, chirp on this Thursday.
Chirp, chirp, chirp. And if you are going to a football game outside this weekend, Todd, much better than last weekend because it was chilly.
Yeah, you know, last Friday it was really cold out there, whether it's high school or college football games here. This weekend you're in great shape. Had to show you this sunrise once again. How beautiful is that? The clouds giving us an added dimension compared to the past few mornings when we've been cloud free, and I've been showing you that view. As we go throughout today, mostly cloudy skies this afternoon. We are dry though, with a high of 68. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a beautiful weather. And look at those temperatures going all the way up into the 70s. In fact, Sunday and Monday, some areas could approach 80 degrees. Next chance of rain doesn't arrive until Tuesday.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We are back in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and traffic updates. Breaking news can be found all day long on the WRTV app. We leave you now with this beautiful shot of the city. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.